Hello, my name is Ken, and I want to welcome you back to Deep Waters. This podcast is brought to you by Applied Strengths Ministry, where we believe working together in our strengths is the effective working out the will and calling of God in our lives. The title of this message is Church Purpose. This is Series 2, Episode 27 of 28. So this is the scripture portion I referred to in Message 26. 1 Chronicles 15:13. For because you did not do it the first time, the Lord our God broke out against us, because we did not consult him about the proper order. He has a proper order. He leads, we follow. 1 Chronicles 17:9. Moreover, I will appoint a place for my people Israel, and will plant them, that they may dwell in a place of their own, and move no more. Nor shall the sons of wickedness oppress them any more, as previously. Jeremiah 11:7-8. For I earnestly exhorted your fathers in the day. I brought them up out of the land of Egypt until this day, rising early and exhorting, saying, Obey my voice. Yet they did not obey or incline their ear, but everyone followed the dictates of his evil heart. Therefore I will bring upon them all the words of this covenant, which I commanded them to do, but which they have not done. This isn't just talking about breaking God's law. Jeremiah 16:12. And you have done worse than your fathers, for behold, each one follows the dictates of his own evil heart, so that no one listens to me. You see it? Ask yourself if you are the one following the dictates of your own heart, or doing what God is trying to lead you to do. Very few pastors inquire as to where you came from for the purpose of ensuring God has released you from your past church address and has assigned you to the new church address. So you have to perform your own check. Jeremiah 10:23. O Lord, I know the way of man is not in himself. It is not in man who walks to direct his own steps. Acts 17:26-28. And he has made for one blood every nation of men to dwell on all the face of the earth, and has determined their pre-appointed times and their boundaries of their dwelling, so that they should seek the Lord, in the hope that they might grope for him and find him, though he is not far off from each one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being. As also some of your own poets have said, for we are also his offspring. Judges 21:25. In those days there was no king in Israel. Everyone did what was right in his own eyes. Democracy can lead a person to think that they have a right to decide what is right in their own eyes. But Christ in you changes your governmental system from a democracy to a kingdom. The preparations of the heart belong to man, Proverbs 16:1. But the answers of the tongue is from the Lord. A man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Proverbs 20:24. A man's steps are of the Lord. How then can a man understand his own way? Psalm 92:13-15. Those who are planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bear fruit in old age. They shall be fresh and flourishing, to declare that the Lord is upright, he is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. You don't plant yourself, he is a gardener, and so he shall do the planting. You can focus on growing. Deuteronomy 12:11-14. Then there will be the place where the Lord your God chooses to make his name abide. There you shall bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings, your sacrifice, your tithes, the heave offerings of your hand, and all your choice offerings which you vowed to the Lord. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, you and your sons and your daughters, your male and female servants, and the Levite who is within your gates, since he has no portion nor inheritance with you. Take heed to yourself that you do not offer your burnt offerings in every place that you see, but in a place which the Lord chooses. In one of your tribes, there you shall offer burnt offerings, and there you shall do all that I command you. Deuteronomy 12:18. But you must eat them before the Lord your God, in the place which the Lord your God chooses. And your son and your daughter, your male servant and your female servant, and the Levite who is within your gates. And you shall rejoice before the Lord your God, and all to which you put your hands. Deuteronomy 14:25. Then you shall exchange it for money, take the money in your hand, and go to the place which the Lord your God chooses. Deuteronomy 12:8-10. You shall not all do as we are doing here today, every man doing what is right in his own eyes. For as yet you have not come to the rest and the inheritance which the Lord your God is giving you. But when you cross over to the Jordan and dwell in the land which the Lord your God is giving you to inherit, and he gives you rest from all your enemies round about, so that you dwell in safety, let God send you to your church address. Include him in that season so that you can end up where he wants you. It will be to your benefit as well as to those in whom you will serve. Now I know, as if I wasn't guffed enough, I know I will get some guff on this next section, but as you see it, what we are currently doing in churches isn't working, and there has to be a reason. Sitting around hoping Jesus will come and rescue us from us is preposterous, and hopefully I have explained the reasons why we as a bride of Christ have an obligation to make ourselves ready. Sufficiently thus farest. Who is the church for? Everyone? In short, however, the body of believers, those who are saved and being saved, that is the everyone I'm talking about. If someone walks in off the street, you can allow them to gawk uninterruptedly, but you should or could run them off in a short series of spiritually loaded questions to determine if they should remain or not. Test the spirit. I believe there is room in the Bible for the spyly interested to stop by and to check things out. However, this should not be the primary focus of the church. Equip, equip, equip. All the messages should be to equip the saints for the work of ministry. And yes, you can chat about the gospel, but if you review the examples above, you can see that those being added to the church were being added because someone already preached the gospel, and in many, many cases proved it to be true with signs following. But they cannot do it if they haven't been trained how to do it. It's like adding rice to a boiling pot of water continually until the rice spills out, ending up in its original form other than being a little wet. So the believer and the being saved occupy the church for the sole purpose of equipping the saints for the work of ministry, for making disciples, fellowshipping with one another, worshiping God and seeking his presence. Leadership is selected in addition to what has already been shared, by proof of lasting and mature fruit. Timothy outlines the role of a bishop and an elder. Did he not teach us to avoid releasing someone too soon before they are ready? By building a church in this manner, it is also easy to gauge where a person is at insofar as maturity, to lay hands when asked or necessary, to put into practice those things being taught to the believers. Bible studies should be mandatory, just like basic training is to the new soldier. This is not rocket science. If your church building is eating up all of your resources, then perhaps it's time to reevaluate the location of your barracks and bunkers. Well, that's it for today. It looks like we are down to the last message in this series. We wrap up in the next message. Remember, it's not what you find wrong or disagree with regarding these messages, but what you can take away from it. Together we can do more to impact the kingdom than if we work alone. Let's flip the script and kill, steal, and destroy the works of the enemy, and create space for the light of light to shine through into people's lives. Plant a seed and click on the like and subscribe button. Let's build this ministry together. Thanks, and see you next time in Deep Water.